Hello, everyone. I'm Michael, and today I will be attempting to help everyone gain an understanding on how to use Word to reference, and also as an added bonus on how to use Word to create a table of content. For the purpose of this demonstration, we will be using the 6th edition APA, but please feel free to play around with the different ones that Microsoft has. Unfortunately, Word does not have the 7th edition one, but the difference between the 6th and the 7th is not very much. So if you prefer, you can start by using the 6th and then edit the reference at the end to look more like a 7th. But as I said, the changes, the difference is not as much. They also have the Harvard, they have the MLA, but the most popular, especially at Swansea University, is APA 7th edition. Just another thing, there's some people that have said they prefer to use EndNotes to reference. That is fine. There's a way you can also link your EndNotes to your Word document by downloading a plugin that you would then attach to your Word document. And then you can keep a database of your references. Just before we dive right into it, Microsoft also keeps a database of all of the references that you've used. For the purpose of this presentation, I've previously copied in some of the references I had used in some of my other works in the past, which I have here. So all you just need to do is click on the reference you want to use, copy over, and then it comes to your current list. And you can close that. And once you go to your insert citation section, you can see all of the references that you are using. And all you just need to do is, let me show you a demonstration. All you just need to do is put your cursor where you want to insert the citation and then click, and it's going to insert. Now, if you're citing a book and you wish to identify what page exactly you used for the purpose, or a reference or a journal or a report or a journal, and you want to use the specific page, you want to show your writer or your reader or your supervisor what page you've used, all you need to do is click on the drop-down menu. So first off, you move around, click on the reference, you see a drop-down menu option, you drop down and then you click on edit citation. And then you can put what page you've used, assuming I've used page 22, type page 22 and OK, and then you see that being included. Now, just to give you an idea of how to get to the reference part, once you get onto your Word document, it would the default tab is the Home tab. You have the Insert, the Draw, the Design, the Layout, and then the Reference tab. So you click on the Reference tab and you can see all of what I'm showing on my screen. Now, I've put the site part here because I and many others, whenever we're writing, we like to, and we are in the zone, we like to put an indicator that we need to include a citation there. That was how I used to be. Now I just cite as I go on, so I do not lose, and I do not lose my sources. And Microsoft or Word has made that a million times easier for us. So this is the book or journal I wish to cite. So what I would do then is I would hover to where I want to cite. So I want to cite in this, I want to remove this bracket. And then my cursor is where I want the citation to be. And then I go to insert citation. If what you want to insert has already been created, just click on it and it's going to insert there. But for the purpose of this presentation, to show you how to cite using Word, I'm going to do it from scratch. So you click on add new source. Now, depending on what you want to do before, as a start, let's reference a book. For this book, we have two authors. If you have just the one author, you can just include the first name and then the last name and fill in the other information. But because this book has multiple authors, what we would do is to click on the edit. Now, what this does is you can add as many authors as you want. You can add 4, 5, and even 10. So the last name of the author is, the first author is Makinde. Their first name is Michael. So once we've added that, click add, and then the other author is Icaris and Angelic. So once we've added all we need to add, you can move the authors as you please. You can move them up or you can move them down. It is up to you. Nothing is set in stone, and it's to make your life a million times easier. Sometimes you might get carried away and might type the wrong author first or the wrong author second. You could just come back here and move around. That is okay. Then you click OK, and then for the title we have how to reference. The year it was created is 2022, and the city is London. The publisher is Careers Publisher. So once that is done, we are happy with what we can see. We click OK. Now you can see, because it's a book, it's showing the authors and the name of the book. And as I said, if we want to include the pages that we use, assuming the page is page 1 to page 32, and we've used page 1 to page 3. We just do that and say OK, and then you can see the pages being included. Now that is if you wish to reference a book. Now, assuming we want to then reference a journal, same way, we go back here, we go to add new sources, and then we click on journal article. You can reference as many things. You can reference a website, in fact, an electronic source, a document from a website, a report. It is up to you, whichever you're choosing to reference. So same thing, let's just assume that the author of the journal is Michael Makinde alone, or Mike Makinde. Remember the first name first and then the last name second. And then the title, how to reference. And then the journal is the Journal of Academic Integrity. And then the year it was written is 2022. And then the pages that we're going to be using is page 1 to page 32. Once you're happy with all the information that you've entered, you press OK. Now you notice this has now been included. The journal is m.makinde. You will see the difference between that and that of the book. Just take note of that. So let's assume the journal that we only used page 3. Just include page 3 and OK, and then it includes that for you. Now, if you are referencing a website that is complete, it's just the same way that you do it. But what I would just want to show is, assuming that we were doing something maybe from a UN website. Let's just use that as an example. Now the UN, if you write the United Nations, it's going to assume that United is the first name and Nations is the last name. But because United Nations is a corporate author, you want to click on corporate authors, and I recommend you doing that for any company. So if you want to reference Swansea University will be the corporate author, as opposed to being just the author, because then it would assume that Swansea is the first name and university is the last name. But if you click on corporate author, it assumes the Swansea University is the name of the author, and then that's what shows in your citation. Let's demonstrate that. So United United Nations. And let's assume the web page is the SDGs. And the website is sdgs.un.org. And the year that we access, it's very important. Now, if you are able to find what date that it was published on the website, that's great. But most websites do not show this. And so what you can enter there is the dates that you accessed this document. So on the United Nations website, they don't tell you when this was published, except it is a blog. On some website, if it's a blog that you're getting, of course, you would see the name of the author and the date it was published. But on many corporate websites, you do not see the year or the date it was published. So in that case, you need to include the date you accessed this document. So what is today's date? 2022, May the 17th. And the URL, you can copy the URL straight from your browser. So I'm just going to make this up as well. So it is sdg.un.org/SDGs. And then I'm happy with all of this. Okay. Now, if you notice, it shows United Nations 2022. If I had included this to be just any author, let me show you what I mean by that. If I had included this to be, as opposed to being a corporate author, you see it then only shows the surname as opposed to showing the full United Nations. So it is very, very important that when you are putting in the author, if it is a company, just include it as a corporate author. So the next thing that I would like to talk to you about is how do you create a proper table of content that understands what you've done. Now, before I go ahead and show you how to tag every single heading that you have, I will attempt to include a table of content just to give you a baseline information on why we do what we do to get the best result. So you notice here now it showed creating a table of content. It does not recognize any of the headings. And that is because everything here just seems like a normal text. The table of content would only recognize what you have tagged. And this is where you go back to the home tab. Now, information required, I want that to be heading 1. And then I've tagged every other thing heading 1. So how to reference, I want that to be heading 1 as well. I want different types of referencing style. I want that to be heading 1. Or if it's not heading 1, otherwise it would usually be associated as normal, which is normal text. I want referencing a journal to be heading 2, and then the one referencing a website to be heading 2. So now that I've tagged all of this, I can then go back to my table of content. I could either update this table, or I can just clean it and go back to reference and include the table of content. But since I've updated the table, you can notice that every single thing I've done here has then reflected. So this are my heading 1 and this are my heading 2. And if I want my table of content to show my heading 3 is going to show it outside this as well, and then include the pages. So just with this shows that just with 1 click or just 2 clicks, you can more or less get your work done as easy as possible. Now, one thing I've forgotten to mention is after you've done all of your citations, you can simply go to biography and then insert your references, and it automatically inserts all of your references for you. Now, because we have chosen an APA style, and what APA does is that it arranges your references by alphabetical order. So that's what has happened here: A, B, E, M, and P. So now that I've just included my references, all I need to do is go to my table of content, update the entire table, and then it updates my references here. So I hope this really helped just to give you a good overview on how to use Microsoft to reference and how to use Microsoft also to create table of content. If you want us to create or to do any other type of video, please let us know, and we will try to put that together and do a video demonstration for you. Thank you very much for listening, and hope you enjoyed.